Welcome to the Chateau Podcast. If you don't know me, my name is Martin Depict. I'm a photographer and videographer based in Los Angeles, and it's been a busy week for me. I've been trying to keep up with work. I did 2 streams this week. I rushed out a video for this thing, the DJI Pocket 4P, and I am sort of like getting in my head a lot this week. I'm getting in my own way, really. I think like a big thing was I have been so consistent of making sure that I get a video up every Monday. Every other Monday, it's a podcast. It's one of these. In between the podcasts, every other Monday, I try to upload either a vlog or another video that's a little bit longer, just to sort of like stay consistent. And it's a promise that I made for myself this year is to really stay consistent and see how this helps me as a creator, as an editor, as a photographer, as everything. Just to really see how much I can hone these skills. And I think what's really pushed me is these sort of like last minute videos, the ones that I made on this one and on the Luna Ultra that I for sure kind of rushed, but it has shown me that it is possible. It's possible for me to just be able to sit down, write down a couple of things, make some notes, and just sit down in front of the camera, record, and just say what I need to say. I think what I have found is that the videos that I make on sort of like the tech specs and these sort of products, it's a different community. And I think like I see it from just off of the video that I posted on this. Like I posted this video, I'm recording this on 4th of July. So I posted it 2 days ago and it got 1,000 views in 24 hours, which is great. Way more than my usual videos. But at the same time, I got the most dislikes that I've gotten on any video this year. And I think that goes to show that either there's people that are watching it that are not hearing what they want to hear. They don't agree with my take. Or maybe it could just be, people that work for the brand, that work for DJI that don't want me letting people know that information, and they dislike it. And when they dislike it, the algorithm sort of like shuns the content a little bit. And that I am not at liberty to say which one it is. It could be all three. But I think the good part is that I'm sort of like rolling with these punches. I am putting myself through these tests. Another one being like the live stream that I did of the unboxing on this camera. This camera was supposed to come in on the Monday of June 29th, and it didn't come in. It got delayed by 2 days. So it came in on Wednesday. Me sort of like thinking that it would work out. I had made plans to live stream on Monday. And because I was going to live stream on Monday, I didn't post a video on Monday. And I got really down on myself when the camera didn't show up. And I was like, shit, am I just not going to upload anything today? I felt like I was breaking a promise to myself. I got really pissed at myself. And I think I went out, came back home, and I was just like, you know what? I'm still going to go live. And I'll just call it like a test stream. And it's a good thing that I did that test stream, because on that test stream, I found that there was multiple different issues going on with the stream. It was very glitchy on YouTube. Turns out I was using the wrong encoder. Turns out that I was uploading the video onto YouTube at a much higher bit rate, causing it to sort of like have this weird glitch effect where like you can hear me perfectly, but the video was just start, stop. And it was just not a good experience. So, and also I was also streaming to TikTok and Instagram, and sort of trying to figure all this out with OBS, with using the virtual camera to Instagram, and then a virtual camera to TikTok, and different stream keys and all this stuff. Like it's crazy. I think like that was my first time ever streaming. I think like I've streamed to Twitch, I think a few times from my Xbox, just to like mess around with it, just having fun, but never myself, never my face. And I think it was a learning experience. And thankfully, I went live that Monday, the 29th. I was so nervous even though I was having all those technical issues, I didn't know any that I was having any of those technical issues until halfway through the stream, looking at the chat, and then afterwards, talking to Luna and her telling me like, "Oh, it was really glitchy on YouTube. This was going on. This was going on." I had to. I even told myself on that stream, I was like, you know what? I am going to use this as exposure therapy and just keep doing this until I don't feel this way no more. And I just kept talking and talking and talking, and I went for like 46 minutes and then ended the stream, found out I was having all those issues. And then I went to go eat, came back, started another stream after fixing all those issues with the encoder and the bit rate that I was uploading the video to YouTube, and it fixed everything. So that second stream, I deleted the first stream off of my YouTube, but that second stream is still up on my YouTube, and I streamed to Instagram and TikTok. And it was cool. It was cool to just sort of like sit and talk. And I definitely think that it's an experience that I want to keep doing. Um, I don't know to what context or what I can do on live. Maybe it could be like Q&As, or it can be me live streaming like editing sessions. It really depends. I have to sort of like figure it out. But it was fun. It was fun. It was fun to just sort of like do it and feel like I was overcoming something. And then finally, when I did get this camera on July 1st and I went live for the unboxing, I knew that I wasn't going to have any more technical issues. I think in my mind, I was better prepared for the things that I had to say about it. But then as I unboxed it and I went through the menus, there was some surprises that even I was not ready for. And some of the things that were not in this camera sort of disappointed me, and it was hard to hide that disappointment on stream. And I think that was part of the reason for the follow-up video that I uploaded on Thursday, the next day, is just doing that ISO test, seeing how grainy the images got in higher ISOs, and also talking about how that second lens has a shift in exposure. I didn't even get to talk about not being able to shoot 1x1 the way that the Pocket is able to shoot 1x1. You can take square photos on this, but you can't take square video on it in 3K like the Pocket 3 can. So it's just very strange to me that they have chosen to limit it in some features, but then add just the better D-Log in this. So you don't have D-Log M in this, you have regular D-Log, and then you also have a new D-Log 2, which can shoot up to 17 stops of dynamic range, which there's been no one to do a video that can prove it. I've seen a lot of the test footage that's being put out by a lot of the creators that are sponsored by DJI, and all of it looks amazing. I'm not shitting on the camera for what it can put out quality wise. I'm shitting at the camera for it not being as easy to use as its past cameras, because at the end of the day, it is a Pocket, and people get this camera to be able to use it on the fly. And I guess I'm still even being too hard on it now, because you can still pull it out, have it be like a good camera, but you can only use it in auto, not in manual. So yeah, I think like, because you can only use it in auto and not in manual, I think there's going to be a bunch of people that are like, oh, I want to be able to, control it a little bit better. And that just, yeah, I think like, I think the one way that I can mitigate it and fix it is as soon as I get a VND, which I have ordered one from Small Rig. I ordered 2 different versions of ND filters VNDs from Small Rig, and they get here probably mid-month. So as soon as I get that, I'll test it out, assuming that DJI doesn't put out a firmware update to fix the camera. But I think that's sort of one of the big reasons why DJI is sort of like delaying this global release, or being so, iffy about when, they're releasing it in what states, because I think they know that as soon as it goes public in certain countries, people are going to be harder on it than other people. And so like, I've seen a lot of good reviews of this camera from Chinese creators. It's actually introduced me to a lot of creators overseas that are creating like really cool content. In fact, like there are content creators that have super small channels, but they do amazing quality work. You know, I don't know if their videos are sponsored, or I don't know like if they have a big production team, but like, man, there was a couple people that I've watched. None of them, I can't remember any of their names, but uh it's just really cool to see uh a lot of creators sort of like the using AI in a way to auto dub their videos to just be shown to a wider audience. And this isn't new, right? Like um Mr. Beast has done this for a long time, where he has paid actors or voice actors to dub his videos and for it to be shown in different countries. But I think AI, I'm not sure if Mr. Beast is doing this, but I know that AI has been auto dubbing videos and allowing videos to be shown across different countries now, or a lot across different languages, I should say. And I think that it's cool. And I think like for me, at first when I was seeing a lot of these videos, there's some videos out there that do product reviews that don't have a face to it. And it feels like the content is almost completely generated because there's no face to it. It's just an AI voice with some footage and no persona. But in other cases, like the videos that I did found is an actual person talking to the camera, trying to be funny, being a little corny, and you know, having those jokes translate into different languages and feeling that sort of like connection still, as people do with people online. And I think that was cool. It's motivating to see that there's a lot of people all over the world just putting themselves out there like that. And I think a release like this, for a camera that has been only released in certain countries, uh, it allows smaller creators to be seen by the masses, to be uh, found by the algorithm, to be pushed to new audiences that would have never seen their content before. And that's, I think, a big reason why I am sort of like rushing some of this, because I am working on another video now, and I want it to be more of a part two to the first video that I made. Granted, all the stuff that I'm complaining about in that first video could be fixed with a firmware update. It just hasn't yet. And I think that those shortcomings also tied in with the fact that the Luna Ultra has so many features, and they jam packed so many different uh, things into that little camera. It just makes this one look not great. And we just got to wait and see of what they actually do to combat all the criticism out there on this camera. Because like there's creators out there that are sponsored by DJI, and there was one in particular, I forget his name. Let me look it up actually, so that way I can let you guys know that this is like what I showed in my video. I wasn't the first one to do it. In that same day, another creator posted the video, and he just sort of glossed over the fact that like, oh yeah, the second lens does overexpose you a little bit, and then he just sort of kept going, and I was like, no. That's not like a small issue, because it doesn't do it in auto. It only does it in manual. So he goes by Bobby Tonelli. And the video that I was talking about is called Two Lenses Changed Everything, DJI Pocket 4P. And the video is great. It's shot really well. He's an awesome creator. I can see why DJI sort of like sends him product. And I'm sure he did that video in a couple of days and took his time, and it took way more time than I did, because like I literally got this camera and then literally the next day was already picking on it. Granted, he does say in the video that he's not allowed to talk about everything yet, which I think those things that you can't talk about just leads me to believe that they are going to be putting out a firmware update on this camera that fixes a lot of those issues, and they don't want a lot of people talking about their shortcomings. I'm all for it. I think this is testing me as not only a creator, but a person, to sort of like deal with criticism, and to deal with how I view content, and how people view me in content, because I do think that there's a lot of people that see the videos that I make, and they immediately don't either like me, the way that I look, or the way that I talk, or they don't like what I'm creating, or they may just view me in whatever negative way. And I think that that is definitely my imposter syndrome just coming up. And I think a lot of that has to do with how I judge people, because I think a lot of photographers are sensitive. A lot of creatives are sensitive. Just like they don't like when their work is critiqued, but then they dish out their critiques at everything. I see it all the time, especially now on social media. Now that rage bait is a thing, you see more people sort of like post their hot takes and then hope that it pisses people off and hope that people engage with it, because that is the best way to get people to engage, is to piss people off, hope people comment their argument on that, and then more people join in, and that's just, it's like a hack. It's literally a social media hack to just rage bait and get people pissed. And you can do it right now. You can post something that you may not even believe, but have it be the most egregious shit that you may think, and it will get views and it will get clicks and it will get people to engage with it, because it will piss people off. And I think that's part of this world that I don't agree with, that I don't like, that I think is sort of like eating up at people's souls. Because once you do that, you sort of become that a little bit. You can post something that you may not believe, that you are just doing to go viral, knowing that going viral will make you money. And then once you find out that nothing else that you make besides you being that persona, or you saying that horrible shit, gets you paid, then you become a sellout. Then you just become that. And I don't ever want to be that. I am okay with people not liking me and what I think, but at least I'm true to my thoughts and my feelings, and I will never be that. So, it is what it is. An example that comes to mind, and I see these all the time. There's not just one video of this. There's like a group of people on TikTok that are film photographers, and they're all wearing Carhartt, and they all have those stupid ass glasses, and they go like, "Oh, if you shoot digital and you don't shoot film, you're not a real photographer." Or, if you shoot vertical, you're not a real photographer. All this stuff, like all this, dude, it's rage bait. And then people in the comments, they want you to react to it. They want you to see it and not see the irony in it. The irony is that like all those motherfuckers saying that shit are cookie cutter versions of each other. That they're all, wearing Carhartt. They're all, from some small town in the US that move out to New York or move out to LA and try to do this thing and try to, take pictures that could be sold in galleries and really try to hit the lotto. And the worst part of it is that like you can say what they're saying without being a dick. What they're trying to say most of the time is that they want photographers to focus on the quality of photography as opposed to the quantity which digital gives you. Digital allows you to make a bunch of mistakes. Digital allows you to have unlimited redos. As long as you have enough memory cards, you can take the same shot over and over and over and over until you get it right. When it comes to film, you're limited. Film's more expensive. There's only a certain amount of shots in a roll. You only get a certain number of chances to capture the shot. And even more so, if you're a street photographer, you're really just looking for these moments that you can only see through your eye, through your lens. And there is something very beautiful about that. I'm not saying that those takes are wrong. The wrong takes are shitting on other people's work or shitting on other people for taking the exact same road that they once were on to get to where they want to be. Because every photographer starts at the same place. They all pick up a camera. They all make the same mistakes. They all, tend to shoot the same shit in the beginning. And then once you sort of figure it out and you experiment for yourself and you make your own mistakes, all of them end up wanting to pursue a career that is very much ambition driven, is very much artistic, and all of them are unique. They all sort of have a very unique point of view, and I think that's sort of like the beautiful thing about photography. And the reason why I never leave the house without my camera is that sometimes you see something, and then if you don't have your camera, you wish that you had your camera. And so if you do have your camera and you capture this thing that you think is so beautiful, I think a lot of those moments are for yourself. And you got to keep that in mind right after you press the shutter button, because these moments that you're capturing, whether, it could be like you and your friends out and, you're taking pictures of them and they're taking pictures of you and you're making memories. Or you could be out on the street by yourself, walking down the street, and you see something, interesting. Maybe the way that shadows are hitting the floor, that colors are aligning, that, a beautiful sunset. Capturing those moments is what I believe makes a good photographer great. It is recognizing that those moments exist, and they will always exist, and they will continue existing. And, you feeling this weird thing that including myself, I'm including myself when I say this, feeling this thing of like, I need to capture this because I don't know when's the next time I'm going to see this again, or I need to capture this because I see this such beautiful moment happening, and if I don't capture it, no one else will. All that stuff should be for yourself first. And then once you're okay with you having it for yourself and you decide to share it, it will affect you less when that photo maybe doesn't get the reaction that you want, because the main goal of that photo was you getting the reaction from yourself first. It took me a long time to realize that within myself, because I think there's a sense of social media and a lot of people in general, influencers, people that I work with. And I'll give an example. I've worked with a lot of models that I've taken amazing photos for. And this has happened more than once. They post a photo that I really like, that I really love, that they really love. And I'm just happy that people are getting to see it. I may not even be tagged in the photo, but I'm just happy that people are getting to see it, that people are seeing this moment that I captured. But in their eyes, oh, it's not performing as well. It's not getting as many likes. It's not getting as many comments. So they take it down. They delete it. That diminishes the value of the moment, of the photo itself. And I think that like all of them, including myself, as we get older, there's going to be a time where they're going to go back and look at a younger version of themselves and say like, wow, all these pictures that we took were so amazing. And they mean so much more to them now. And in the moment, they might have not wanted to take the photo. In the moment, they were not maybe feeling well about themselves. In the moment, they may have not been confident, but they still did it. I think what I'm trying to say is just take the photo. I think like there was something that came across my feed. I think it was like a quote from some famous person. If you think photos don't matter, wait until it's all you have left of someone. And it's true, because like memory fades over time, like it's just what happens as people age, and you might not remember all the good times. But I think like the beautiful thing about like past generations, that like I miss like photo albums, like physical photo albums, because like printing stuff out and seeing moments, like even like when I see photos of myself as a kid, I don't remember taking those photos. I don't remember, what I was thinking or what I was doing in those photos. But like, I see myself, and I just see a kid, and I'm grateful to have made it this far. You know what? I have no idea how I got to this point. to this topic. You know what? I feel like every time that I start recording these podcasts, because I'm sort of like raw dogging YouTube, right? I don't really have a plan. I don't sort of have a script, or I have like topics written out and bullet points and stuff, but like I don't really know, like once I start talking about something, I don't really know where it will go. And I just sort of like let it flow. And if I want it to feel natural, I want me to feel natural in front of the camera. So I just sort of like let it happen. And I'm hoping that gives me is just sort of like it allows my real voice to come out and not feel like everything is so robotic. So sometimes I'll get to the end of these podcasts and I'll go, I have no idea how I got to this to this part of the conversation. But if there's anything to take away from this episode, is that just take the shot. Just fucking go out there, do it. You're gonna be judged. Nothing's gonna stop them from judging you. Nothing's gonna stop them from hitting the dislike button. Nothing's gonna stop them from, not liking the way you look, not liking the way you talk. There will be people out there that just dislike you for being you. And yeah, I think like the big part of this is that this is very much exposure therapy for me. I'm just trying to push through all this bullshit that I have in my head, and I want to get to this better version of myself, and I cannot do that until I stop caring about what people think. And so I'm gonna keep going. But yeah, I guess that's it for this episode. Expect another video on this thing. There's a lot more that I want to say about this camera's shortcomings, so expect the video out soon. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you again. I'll see you guys next week. But until then, keep shooting. Peace.